Welcome to NTV People's Parliament. We are still in Kalangala yet again, but this time around, we're not discussing forests, no infrastructure. We are talking about fishing, which is the lifeline of this district. Right here, the heart of Lake Victoria, there's so many fishermen here in Kalangala, but currently they are faced with a number of disputes across themselves because of a number of issues. These range from the scarcity of fish one of these days in the lake, but also fishing gear. But also they have other concerns about those that are manning the lakes. Where do we draw the line as leaders? Where do we draw the line as fishermen or the fishing community, but also as residents of this district? Welcome to NTV, and we are going to delve right in. We have the production officer for Kalangala in the house to clearly elaborate and highlight us what is the state of fishing in Kalangala. Let me have him come to the floor of the August House, and he's going to give us a preamble exactly why the fish stocks on Lake Victoria are declining, why are we seeing cases of overfishing, illegal fishing, and now fishermen fighting amongst themselves. Why are we having reports from fishermen coming from outside? Why are we having theft of fishing gear here in Kalangala district?
Kalangala is made up of 84 islands, but we have 64 landing sites. And these are these are places where you find the fish owners, the boat owners, and the rest of the community. We have 7 administrative units, one town council, and 6 sub-counties. On each of those administrative units, we have what we call fisheries officers and assistant fisheries officers. And these are managing these sub-counties on fishery-related activities. But on the landing side, we don't have a vacuum. We have what we call landing site fisheries management committees. And this is the link between the government, between the private sector with the community. These are basically supposed to do the informing. They're supposed to carry the information to the communities, and we usually have meetings with those people. Then that is the structure for Kalangala District Government. But nationally, we have a unit that I heard people were talking about here. This is a unit that is mandated to do what they call law enforcement activities. And this is called the Fisheries Protection Unit. And these are mandated to do fighting illegalities on the lake and and pirates and related cases on fisheries on fisheries activities. I don't want people to think that fish is not in the lake. No, we have fish in the lake, though it has declined, and we have reasons that we can give the community why there is a decline. And the government is working to see that these are what is causing the decline, that are addressed.
Educate us today, what is causing the decline? Because we are talking about the wrangles in the fishing community, and it could be one of the major reasons. So why do we have a decline of fish across the country, not just in Kalangala?
Yeah, not just in Kalangala.
Please educate us.
Yes, we have issues that we as government are handling. One is the overcapacity. We have an open access. Lake Victoria is open access. You wake up today without consulting the government, you make yourself a boat, we come to supervise when you have made already the boat. Other lakes like Choga, which are closed access, there's a process that you carry on before you open, before you go to business. So you have all the people who are coming from all other places joining the lake. And that is what you heard the president saying, Enyanja tejula, Enyanja ikolachi, ejula. This is a natural resource. It can be renewable if we manage it well. But otherwise, if all of us go into the lake, and when you stop, and when you have a policy here, because it's a natural resource, as you've heard, it's not like the oil. You know, oil, they say 25 years. The oil will be, we have 2 natural resources. One is renewable, and one is not what? Is non-renewable. The lake is renewable with management, with good management practices. But with the oil, it's not renewable. They know the quantity, and they know how many years we are going to take to extract the oil. So with the lake, it is basically the management style that the government is coming up to see that this lake is managed well. Lake Victoria is one of the most fertile lakes in the world. It's one of the most fertile lakes in the world, and we still have the resource there. But yes, these are research stations that are giving us information about, well, the stocks are different for particular species. Some species we have even fish dying out of age. We have fish dying out of age. That means the stock is we have an abundance of such stocks. Then other species are declining. And now the government is trying to address this. And how is it addressing it? One, by bringing up the law. We have a law that was passed by Parliament in 2022, because the one we had was really a cake, so old. In the 1960s, the fines were so weak. The fines were so weak, and the enforcements were so, you take someone to court and someone moves out, you move back with them to the community. So now we have come up with as the fisheries, we have a really stringent law that has come out. But now to enforce this law, we need what they call regulations. We need regulations to really put this one into the implementation part of it. And this regulation, recently, fishermen met the president in Jinja. I think it's about 2-3 months back.
Okay.
Yeah, and he gave us an ultimatum of about a month or so that the regulations are out. Once the regulations are out, the management of the lake is going to be streamlined.
Okay, there's something that was on top of the agenda when we were coming through from Bufumira sub-county. They're talking about the fishermen from Mazi and then PG, and we're seeing conflicts going through. What are you doing to resolve these conflicts? How are you handling the resolution of the conflicts?
Since I told you that fish really has no boundary, the one that is born in Impigi, the one that is born in Kalangala, you find it in other places. And we don't have a law of stopping a Ugandan to go to another district to harvest fish. So the issue of movement of fishers on the lake, we issue licenses, and these licenses are national. Okay, but on a particular water body. Once you have a license for Lake Victoria, you are allowed to move to Ikwe, you are allowed to move to Mayuge with that one license. So with the conflicts, how the conflicts are supposed to be handled, that one is done on case-by-case basis. But we don't stop fishermen from moving from one district to another, because the licenses they have are for the whole lake-wide body.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Member. Thank you so much. At this particular point, I would like to have the cow come onto the floor of the August House to also give us an overview of the state of fishing here in Kalangala District. The first time I came through, can I have the cow? Is he in the house? Yes, he is. The first time I came to Kalangala, I was so excited. That was 3 months ago. I thought I'm going to eat fish. When I got here, I went down there and asked for fish, and someone told me, so I told myself, all along I came on that ferry hoping to eat fish. So please tell us what is the state, because this is the lifeline. This is what we've known Kalangala for. We were very eager to eat a lot of fish.
Honourable Speaker, thank you so much.
That is on a personal note, lighter note, actually.
Honourable Speaker, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
When I was transferred here, I also expected to eat, it is something they call tilapia.
Yes.
Yeah, but up to now, I have not eaten it. I don't think so. We have PFU,
yes,
who is part of the UPDF. UPDF was authorized by the government and by the head of the state by trying to minimize illegal fishing, because you are getting into legal fishing activities, which illegal fishing activities has negative effects on reducing the fishing mode, the fishing volume, and also poor fishing methods. This affected our fishing. And if it affected our fishing, it also has a correlationship with the low incomes, because you cannot get enough money because of illegal fishing. Therefore, what are we suggesting? That yes, fishing, we are providing a solution. The solution, we are minimizing, of course, UPDF has been minimized and allowing you to fish on condition that you follow the right policies, procedures. For instance, the Fishing Act of 2024 on fishing management capacity. This is evident to show that we are allowing you to follow the laws to do the right fishing. Most of the people who are complaining about PDF, it looks like you have been victims of UPDF because of poor fishing methods. What about if you change? Let us look at now other methods of changing, like we involve ourselves on labor, external labor, we involve ourselves in agriculture, we diversify the economy to get involved into being busy in order to produce income generating activities. That said, we have to mention that we need to point out that there is a lot of distrust, which caused a lot of tensions on the lake. This distrust, people were taking up maybe small incentives and then leaving out high taxes. We came up to say we are collecting local revenue, but there is a lot of tension. They are saying UPDF wants some little money. And then also you government, you are taxing us a lot of money. So for us, what are we taking home? We are suggesting that follow the laws of trying to pay up the tax that is aligned to the activity, and then you can have a win-win situation. The other that is important is it has also affected the local revenue.
Yes.
The local revenue has been affected because the money that we have been collecting, the other day we were looking at our financial year, collecting over 700 million. But now we are no longer collecting this because we have been affected by the tax, yes, by the tax on the lake. As Msaja Wakabaka will come here, he will also throw more light because he's part of us, and he's going to throw more light to explain because he's part of the fishermen. We also think that we are looking now this, we are trying to plan and work around the clock by encouraging tourism. We are not depending on fishing anymore now. We are looking how do we promote tourism? How do we build and support?
Can't we have fishing tourism?
Fishing tourism?
Yes, fish tourism.
Yes.
Fishing tourism.
Sure. We are trying to encourage this, but also it comes into proposal. We want to attach into improve the budgets. We are working with Ministry of MAIF, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal and Industry, to see that we catch this stuff. We are also trying to diversify. We have been now collaborating in my office with the officers from the Ministry of Forestry as well, to see that we work together to create how do we impact Kalangala into forestry, into tourism. Try to look outside the box. If today share, like for example, we have stopped you or we have trying to encourage you not to depend on fishing, what other activities can make some money back home? My brother here was saying that he can start up matafari, bricklaying. We can say that we look at exporting labor. We can involve ourselves into agriculture. We can involve ourselves into small activities like shops as well. Can you make yourself busy? Me, I'm looking at the big picture. I'm looking at the roads. I'm looking at the economic activities. Yes, I'm looking at the health. And also, I would like to take this point in time to ask you to get a 1 point to give a DHO about how is health performing in Kalangala.
Oh.
I have already encouraged him to involve him.
Okay.
In summary, I would love the feedback. I will welcome feedback. We want to build a very good relationship with the farmers, with the people in the Opur. Somebody mentioned about that we provide a lot of tax, but we don't see. Let me inform the members of parliament now that the Opur gives us over 700 million in every financial year. This money has to revolve into different activities. We are telling you this because this is happening. When they correct the oil, palm oil, when they give us some money here in our financial year, and we make sure that it goes back in terms of medicine, in terms of improving and supporting social services. On top of that, also they mentioned about previously on the first people who are presenting, they mentioned that the government is not doing anything in terms of trying to work on the roads, feeder. We have 3 categories of roads. We have a national road. This is URA road, UNRA road. I beg your pardon. This is UNRA road. We have feeder roads, which are in sub-counties. We have government roads, which are within the sub-counties, but not in too deep deep in the villages. So we have feeder roads for sub-counties. We have feeder roads for sub-counties. We have Uganda National Roads Authority. The roads you are seeing here, this main road. Then we have also what we call the government specific district roads. So people who don't know this, please get in touch with us, with the Works Department, CAW's office, all departments, to educate you more about these services. So far, so good. I'm very proud to say Kalangala is at 75%, and we are clocking to 80 on service delivery. Okay. I thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Thank you for the submissions. At this particular moment, I would like to say that I know we have the fishermen in the building, but at this particular moment, NTV People's Parliament is going to take a very short break. When we return, we're going to have the voices of those that have actually associated with the fishing community or actually fishermen themselves to tell us some of the challenges they're facing and what they think should be done to curb down this. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, and we are still in Kalangala yet again, but this time we're talking about the lifeline of Kalangala, and this is the fishing community. Before the break, we had honorable members putting up their hands to give in their submission about the fishing lifeline here in Kalangala. And please, honorable member, take on to the floor of the August House.
They have not gone to school. Ze nkulide kuno Kalangala nga mulimu abaana abamu nga tebamanyi kuvuba. Naye nga tebamanyi nvuba mbi kyeki, tebamanyi kye balina kukola, wabula tebamanyi it's only fishing. So kyensaba nti we tuba tusobola ku bantu abansingako kwekyo ekintu okusobola organizinga some classes abantu abali ku myalo ne bafunayo bu classes obutono nnyo eba ensomesa entono nnyo gye basobola okuwa abo abantu so that ne baba basanze oli ng'ali mu kikolwa ekibi bagamba twategeka ensoma ey'ebenvu bembi mwagaana okukola ki okujja ne bataba mubanga kukola kikunyiga mbu batuganye okuvuba biki ffe tugenda kukozesa ki naye nga oludda olumu omusango guba gwabwe abo abavuba ki obubi so we tuba tukoze ekintu newe kiba kitono nnyo ne tufunayo classes entono nnyo ne twogerako n'abo abantu ne tubasomesa the good and better fishing methods ze balina okukozesa it's better other than okukwata amatu ne babakubanga emiggo ngalawo mutebamanyi nti nze wenkwata akatimba kange akabi wenkwata eryato lyange ne ŋŋenda yaba amanyi agenze kunoonya ssente songa is affecting his life somewhere or somewhere. Say that is the burning point I have.
Kale, thank you so much, honorable member. Nayenga Kao, we are going to give credit where it is due. I'm not a fisherman, siri muvubi, naye mpulide envube mbi, basomeseze envube mbi bajinyonyode, naye nja kusaba production officer wona abozo jatulaba waliye emisomo emipya oluso omujiji ogwasoma kuyinza okuba gote kukyakikola, naye ate abatalina TV. Kakati ojja kutuyamba to elaborate more. Yes, I know trainings have been ongoing. I'm not a fisherman, but I know I've seen fishing gear being burnt. Yes, ojja kutuyamba. You'll elaborate for us. Are there any other education spaces going on? Are there any other classes for people who don't have televisions and radios? Okay.
Erinnya lyange Sekaddu Francis. Nga nkwasaganya emirimu gya Fist Folk Development and LSA Initiative mu Kalangala. Era nga ndi board member akiikirira Kalangala ne Buvuma mu Life Saving Association Uganda. So ebintu by'okuvuba bino bitegeera bulungi eby'okumazzi. Bisooka tutuuka kwogera ku by'okuvuba tulaba ku byennyanja bye tufuna obungi bwabyo mukene ngege mpuuta ebisinga ndowooza bye tusinga okukozesa naye waliwo n'ebyennyanja ebirala ebikyatalabika nga kasulu semutundooza zo zikyalabikako ebyennyanja ffe twakola nga tulya ebyennyanja bingi ebimali naye zisuubira bibimu bigenze bivudde ne wano ewaffe lwakuba tukutte byeki ennyanja yaffe water pollution singa oyita ku lubalama okwo osooka n'olaba obucupa bw'amazzi nga bubembedde buti teeza buli anywa akacupa asula mu ki
nyanja oba ku lukalu ne kagenda mu
nnyanja so waste management tetumanyi oligejje tukwasaganya bucupa obwo we mundoza we buletedde ebyennyanja byaffe okukola ki olaba amazzi gaffe gakyusizza kkala gavudde mu kkala yaayo amazzi galina kkala yaago eri colourless naye kati amazzi ge tulaba galikoze green tulimye ebinazi ne buffer zone tukoze ki tuzirimyemu ebinazi no tuteekako ebigimusa enkuba olutonnya ng'ekulukusa mu nnyanja ebyennyanja bikola ki bikendera obwonna butwa tukozesa kati yingini amaato ge tukozesa kati yingini zino tukozesa zitufaako naye weekufaako ng'osika amafuta ng'oyiwako mu nnyanja buki butwa ebyennyanja bino bigendera kuba bitono ekya yingini zino era zireekaana zitokota gye ziyita ebyennyanja kiri mu kuzaala kireekaanidde enkoko bagwira abalunda enkoko
bataataganya maama w'eggwanga
gezikola ki zigaanyi tusuubira twandikubaddeko ebintu ebyenjawulo bye tukola twebaza gavumenti yaleetawo alternative economic activity nga okulima ebinazi kubanga abantu abamu ne badda mu binazi n'abakyala abalisinga baali babeera nnyo mu kene n'okutunda obunnyanja buddala obunnyanja obuto abakyala bano batera nnyo butunda babugula kuba n'ababuvuba obubi n'abakyala ne babutunda naye badda mu byeyo ebyeyo babijja ku binazi abakyala twebaza gavumenti twongereyo n'enkola ki endala tulabe ng'abantu tibaconcentratinga nnyo ku nnyanja kwokka nga kati mwe tugambye kati fish farming esobola naye ngirabako wano mu lutoboka wokka ndowooza kati nalulako naye mwenda naye endaba tukola ki twandikyongeddemu amaanyi neyanzizza nnyo
webale ate nga bw'okyogeddeko era njagala kuddamu okukyogera I have seen people having projects awatali mazzi mu bifo ebitali mu mazzi naye nga people do fish farming mu buckets mu tanks wano abantu mubasomesezzaako nti si mu mazzi mwokka.
Njagala obabuulirira bannayuganda bonna abawuliriza abatusibyeko envubu embirize gavumenti mumpulirize lwaki ebintu byonna ebikozesebwa mu nvubu embi biva bweru wa ggwanga. Mbabuulire ekisooka Manyala avaawa bamuggyako omusolo ayitawa ekyo kimu. Ekyokubiri bw'otunuulira envubu embi kyeki kwata byennyanja bito envubu embi kintu kinene nnyo. Waliwo abatakozesa Manyala waliwo abakozesa obulobo obutono buno naye gavumenti ebuggyako omusolo buva bweru wa ggwanga. Ekyokubiri yamala okulaba ekyo negamba abantu b'e Kalangala ebajja etya mu kufuna ssente nereeta amagye. Amagye tegalina mugaso ku nnyanja. Zaawo BMU twayenza kuleeta muntu abadde alunda nte abadde akuba amasasi ayekera eri n'omuleeta alwanyisa envubu embi. No, tagimanyi kyeki. Gamba omulangira wa Ssajja avubidde emisonzi emyaka 10 ne kato emyaka 9 oba 45 wadde ku nnyanja ojja omusomesa omubuuza envubu embi kyeki. Abavuba obubi be baani? Naye oleete abawo abawo bamujja oba wa ng'avudde ku mmundu najja emwena nze kulwanyisa yawandiwanga n'okuwandiwanga ebyennyanja bimuunya tu nze abawo yammalamu fayini naye nga tamanyi envubu embi efaanana etya. Nze nali musuubuzi w'ebyennyanja emwena ow'amaanyi bujulizi nga nina emmotoka yajjanga mu mmotoka yange nga n'agamba yonna mugiyiwe ne bagiyuwa n'asangamu akennyanja kabulako yinki emu okuweza yinki 2 n'agamba gw'ogulumiza envuba ki ebyennyanja n'abitwala n'atabituusa ku poliisi n'atabituusa ku bafisalizi alina okupuluvinga ddala eno ewera eno tewera n'omubuuza wabitaddewa is above. Bassebo ne bannyabo ab'e Kalangala n'abantu b'e Kalangala abagala Kalangala ebeewo Ssebo omugezi wa movement batudize BMU. Batudiza BMU bawooli omwami wa fisalizi obuyinza nga bwe baliwo tugayidinga ne BMU bagyongera amaanyi kuno tekujja kubanvuba mbi ekirala gamba gavumenti yo Ssebo gamba gavumenti yo eggale obutimba obwo gye buyita onolaba envubu embi ezzeewo. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Olaba okozesa eddakiika zo bulungi nnyo n'oziwumbawumba abadde okisobolera ddala. Nina omukyala gwe nasuubiza.
Amanya agange nga bulijjo mugamanyi ndowooza kayite Saadija. Ensonga y'ebyenvubu eyo mukama wange mpanvu mukko. Ensonga y'ebyenvuba nga tebannaleeta n'abasirikale abo ekyamazima tosobola kuba mwana nga takoze musango. Kisoboka ekyo? Nova mu bbanga n'omukuba? Mukitegeera bulungi. Omukulu Kabuusu kyenzijjukira yatwala n'empuuta mu paalamenti n'amugereza obunene bwayo bweri ne bwekula n'esingawo. N'agamba bulijjo yenkana ente nga bulijjo mulya bunyana. Kituufu kati bw'oba mulya bunyana nga bwetaaga kujjawo njagala mu bagezi n'ente enki ennene. Ffe waffe tetulya bunyana, njagala mulya ente ennene. Muzeeyi n'aleeta amagye naye ne muzeeyi ky'atamanyi nti amagye galeese si mwana nti buli mwana ewaka ayagala taata. Oyinza okukola ebitanyuma eri omwana nga takwagala. Abamu tebaagala NRM obanga muzeeyi wadde baana be, kuba ekikolwa kye baakola ku nnyanja kyalaga nti si bawagizi be, kyalaga nti kitulugunya mutuuze nti batuleese katubalageko, kuba babakubanga babagamba mwe mwamulonda era mwe mumusibyewo era yatuleese. Ekyamazima nyina evidence omuvubuka gwe yakuba Siriyani omulala bamukwasa kabazzi nina n'ebifaananyi n'essimu ze yawamba n'abaana abamu we bali abaatolontoka ng'alwanyisa ki gavumenti eya movement. Era kinjagala nkubuulire twafunako ebyennyanja nga bivubwa butwa nga bayiwako obutwa ku mazzi ne bisitukayo byonna, naye nga bo tebatwala buno obuto batwalako ebikulu
obuto ne busigala nga bufu.
Twatwala ekyennyanja ekyo ku sampo Entebbe era ne bakizuula nti kifudde buki
butwa.
Ne tukola lipooti ewa minisita akwatibwako ebyaki ebyobuvubi. Ensonga esembayo ebinaze ebyo obiraba babituleetedde okuwona kino nkyogera eri gavumenti y'eggwanga yonna, babituleetedde nga Kalangala okuwona obwavu, naye tetwagala tufiirwe muwogo tufune lumonde. Ebintu ebyo byombi birya tubikola ki?
Tubyagala.
Tubyetaaga nti ekintu kyonna ekitambulirako mu binazi ekigimusa kirina infection gye kireeta eri ennyanja. Tusaba abalimi b'ebinazi baba basobola babiteekengamu emikutu amazzi enkuba bw'etonnya amazzi ago tegakulukuta genda
kudda mu nnyanja gadda mu mikutu gino.
Ensonga emu gye tukoze okunoonyereza kuba twakatwala amazzi emirundi 2 ku sampo. Amazzi ago ebyennyanja bigaddukamu bikyuka mu butonde bw'ennyanja naye banga byeyongerayo olw'ekiriisa ekiva ku biki
ku binazi.
Mbeyanzizza mukwano.
That has to do with pollution. Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Thank you for that submission. Tweyanzege sebo omulangira jangu mwami mulangira bwamala ngenda kufuna omukyalo oli then nzireko gwe sebo.
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, please.
Neyanziza nnyo okumpa omukisa guno. Nze omulangira wa Sajja. Nze chairman wa National Barriers Association of Uganda. Omukago ogutaba abavubi bonna abakozesebwa ku nnyanja za Uganda. Era nze vice chairman wa Federation of Fisheries Associations in Uganda. Ebibiina byonna mwe twegattira ebikwata ku nnyanja nze mumyuka wa Ssentebe. Njogera ku mulimu gwe mmanyi era gwentegeera. Ekisooka ffe ng'aba Barriers Association tuwaddeyo omuwendo okusomesa abavubi engeri y'okwewala obubenje ku mazzi nga tukoze omukago ne Red Cross. Tusomesezza abavubi okwewala okuvuba obubi n'okugwa mu trap y'abasajja bemuwulidde abasirikale nga tukolagana wamu ne Mayif, Minister of Agriculture, Animal and Fisheries Industry, okuyita mu ssaabavubi waabwe wano mu district aba DFO. Era tubadde tukola butaweera okutaasa obubenje ku mazzi nga tuli wamu n'aba swim safe nga twewala abantu in drowning. Kati mbadde nziramu ku bibuuzo ebimu mubasomesezza ekyo tukikola. Tujjawa funds, International Fund for Fisheries Safety, omukago oguvujjirira okutaasa obubenje ku nnyanja mu nsi yonna abali best London be babadde batuvujjirira. Ogwo tugukoze wano mu Kalangala, gombolola y'ebufumira tugimaliriza, tutandise eggombolola ly'emugoye. Ekyokubiri waliwo kyewaŋŋambye okuddamu bwe twabadde tutandika eri. Waliwo eyagambye nti gavumenti gyenzikiririzaamu nga teyambye bavubi. Omukyala akulira FPU bamuyita mukyala Mase Ada Kano. Oyo bwe yakulembedde abavubi bonna okusisinkana president just recently ne bamuyitiramu ebizibu neyolekeze bayitamu scarcity eri ku mazzi ne omanyi tulina enkola ya people poverty eradication program mwena alemu slogan yaffe egamba bonna bagaggawale twagala mwena mube nga mulina ssente. President yakubye wano ne wali buli district eri ku nnyanja yagiwadde 1 billion akawumbi kamu. Ebyo nga tetunnaba nagenda mu kalulu katuuse.
Abantu bekalangala bafunamu bati nga
abantu bekalangala tulina biliyoni emu
nga tetunakubangalo ku biliyoni eyo. Nze kyembuuza biliyoni eyo egenda kuyamba etya abavubi? Eri streamlined, eri broken down y'abavubi?
Ekyo kyennyini egenda kukola ab'ebinazi temuteekayo ngalo. Egenda kukola kwabo bokka abali mu mulimu gw'okuvuba. Okubba obutimba n'okubba yinginiza abantu ku mazzi. Abantu bava e Kenya ne batulumba n'emmundu. Nze ow'enkasi sisobola kulwana na wa mmundu. Nze ow'enkasi sisobola kulumba na mutemu. Abava e Tanzania n'abava e Kenya omanyi bwe twogera tuli Kalangala yekka okugeza Kasensero abavubirwa ku nnyanja mu waggulu eno ebwonda n'ewalala. Obubbi ku mazzi bubadde bususse n'obutemu. Ekyo at least amagye gakikoze. Toyinza gamba nti amagye gakoze bulungi byokka naye n'ebibi biyinza okuba nga birina bye bikoze. Ku mulembe guli oli gwabadde ayogerako nti Siriyaani n'abatulugunya. Ku mulembe guno ogukulemberwa ono omukyala wabadde tewakyali muntu gwe bakuba nga bamujja mu nnyumba gwe batulugunya gwe bakola bwe batyo naye nga bamukwata. N'eki gavumenti kye yakola bwe twagiwabira abantu abafaanana bwe batyo tulina abasirikale 28 gavumenti bye yatwala mu koti masho nga bavunaanibwa olw'okuzannyira okutyoboola eddembe ly'abavubi be babagambye okukolera mugamba ng'obbalyako enguzi oba okutwala ebyennyanja byabwe. Era ekyo bali mu koti masho. Kyabulabe nnyo na kyabutamanya okudda wano ku mpewo n'otandika okugamba nze mpaabira omusirikale gundi yalya ssente yange era yantwalako kino. Yes, NTV oyogedde naye abakulu bali awo RDC wuli nze ofisi ye NRM wano mu Kalangala nze mwogezi waayo tugambe nti omusirikale gundi yatutte ssente zange ali mwena oba ali Lutoboka oba ali Jindi enkyo omusange mu system onenye gavumenti awo Museveni watutuusizza n'omusirikale avunaanibwa. Ekisembayo
ng'owunzika
siyinza butabeebaza nti bakoze ekisoboka okutusomesa n'okukwatira awamu nabo. Naye oluusi bwe bateekamu amaanyi naffe tuteekamu amaanyi abavubi okugeza Entebe ku mwalo gw'ekigungu wakati w'ekigungu ne Zinga bajja okukwata omuvubi ng'avuba bubi n'abuuka n'agwa omusirikale wa UPDF mbulago n'amudima n'okumutta n'akola ki. Waliwo incident eziwuliddwa ng'abavubi ffe tutta abasirikale naye nabo balina obulamu. Oluusi obeera n'ekiti olwane n'ow'emmundu. Naffe indiscipline gye tubakolako oluusi naffe etukola ki etuleetera ekizibu. Neebaza Kaawo ne ttiimu gy'akola nayo nti okuzimba latrines ku myalo kifuuse kya luwalo naye nga bwe muwulidde nti disitulikiti eno y'emu kuzisinga obunene mu ggwanga tulina ebizinga 84 tulina emyalo egiri gazeted 65 n'egitali gyonna tulina ogikolako mu katokeni ke tufuna mu misolo ewamu watulema okukola ki okutuuka ne tukwatibwako. Waliyo gy'otambula eyo mu mazzi n'osanga aba MP benyigiddemu. Nalabye Kabuusu azimbye Kaaya namulabye agizimbye n'Ebubeke. Tubeebaza nabo okukolera awamu naffe. That is team working. We should promote team working bwe tuba nga tuli baakukola mu Kalangala. N'ebyobulamu tubakubiriza okwewala obulwadde bwa siriimu kubanga siriimu atta. Naye ku mulembe gwa Dr. Suuna Kalangala yali eridinga kati at least tuli yaddeko ng'omubi omweru. Naye ebyo byonna nankubadde tubyebaza. Yesu yagamba bamwebaza ng'azuukizza omwana wa Yayiro n'agamba temunneebaza nze mwebaze ne Katonda yakola ki. Byonna birungi bituukiddwako naye mwebaze ne Museveni atuyamba okubikola. Yesu abanjagali ensonga.
Thank you very much. For those that are watching from home, you're watching NTV People's Parliament, and we can't be in Kalangala and not talk about fishing here in Kalangala District. We're talking about the lifeline. We have had a number of concerns, but here we have leaders to address some of these issues in the House today. We have fishermen to also express themselves on a number of concerns. But now we take a very short break. When we return, we are going to see how we can move forward and improve fishing and improve the livelihoods of people in Kalangala as they fish and as they farm. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, and we're going to delve right back in because we already have a speaker on the floor to also give her submissions about the current state of fishing here in Kalangala. Honorable Member, thank you for being part of this conversation.
Thank you very much.
You're going to speak directly to your microphone and a bit louder.
Nsanyisa obbalaba
Yenyabo.
amanya agange ndowooza mwagategedde dda naye kambaddiremu abataabaddewo amanya agange nze Kyomugisha Witness mukyala Musumba Samusooni Bethel Church Mwena neyanza Madam Sanyu Iziti Sanyu Sarah yagenze n'agamba agala basomese ebyenvuba embi kituufu ebyenvuba embi batuyambeko nze ndi mukyala Musumba tulina amakanisa n'ekyensaba mu misomo egyo gye mugenda otuleetera okusomesa ebyenvuba embi tulina abaana bagunjukira ddala ku nnyanja kati mbadde mbasaba ng'abakulembeze oba abatwala obubaka bwaffe buno ew'omukulembeze mutuyambe muteekewo n'ekkomo ly'emyaka omwana w'alina okutandikira okuvuba omwana w'alina okutandikira okuyingira mu nnyanja kubanga abo bapulezidenti bankya abo bakulembeze ba ggwanga naye watya nga omukulembeze w'eggwanga afiiridde mu mazzi mu kiseera ekitali kituufu nkyagala babatusomeseze Yesu abampeera omukisa Mukama waffe yeebazibwe.
Amina tweyanza nnyabo. Nasuubiza omwami oli ali mu ssaati ya green then gwe.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Yes, sir.
I'm so privileged to speak before the honorables within the House. However, when I look at the heading as we started, we looked at the reason as why where we're looking that fish is declining within Kalangala. And I'm of a view that it is of a kind of different reasons. When we are looking at the decline of fish within Kalangala or within the lakes in Uganda, one is, I think I'll call it poor method of fishing. Fishing is one of the jobs which is mostly expensive because you may look at a boat which is going to lake to fish when it is almost having 5 million just capital. Someone whom I may call a starter may not be in position to start up with that. That means, what am I saying? What is causing the decline of fish is legal fishing, but who are bringing that legal fishing? It is my colleague, the cow, whom you never wanted to hear about. The word you never wanted to hear, the mafias. I was almost getting disappointed when you said that you are seeing the Kalangala is developing. It is almost clocking to 80 when it is coming that sector.
Please, in 1 minute.
In 1 minute. I'm sorry to say that you were lying. Fish decline is caused by the enforcers of law.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you for that submission. Thank you very much. But please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
2 minutes, Honorable Member.
For considering me once again.
Yes. Munvuba
embi era nze mpulidde mukulu wa Sajja nga alina ebintu by'alimbamu. Ffenna tukimanyi. FPU yajja 2017. Olwaleero omwaka gwa 2025 gigenda kuwera myaka 10. Bw'ozaala omwana omuweerera ng'olaba taza result s'omugyawo. FPU tukikirize tujiwe nti mukozeeko kye mukozeeko naye mukole ki muddeko ku bayi tuyiyeeyo ekintu ekirala. If not nze mbadde nsaba FPU bagikwate bagize wansi w'ekitongole ekirala ekisobola okutegeera ebyobuvubi nga yo just ekola enforcement. Nga bagigamba bagambi mugende wano mukole kino n'ekola enforcement naye nga si eri mu control y'okukwasisa amateeka g'ebyobuvubi.
Neyanziza Madam Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Ne House at large. Basewo ne banyawo nze nazaalibwa wali mu bizinga by'Essese e Bukasa. Era edda twalyanga ebyennyanja nga tubiriira mu migeto. Simanyi emigeto mugimanyi. Mwabeerangamu ebyennyanja nga 10 nga omugeto gwa 12. Basewo ne banyawo essaawa zino ekyennyanja kimu kya nusu 7. Kyekyo kireetedde. Ekikireetedde ekyo ffe nga bannakalangala oba bannasese tuvuba nnyo ate nga tuvuba bubi. Ekyamazima n'abavubi bangi nnyo ku nnyanja. Tojjagaana muntu kugenda kuvuba mu nnyanja olw'okubanga alina eddembe ly'ogenda okukola afunire ekigulira ki magala eddiba. Naye nze kyendowooza nti gavumenti kyerina okukola okuteekawo regulation. Okuregulating enkozesa y'ennyanja. Mu nsi ezaakula baregulating okozesa ennyanja nga bawummula okumala emyezi 2 oba 3. Awo n'ennyanja neddamu nessa the lake breathers neddamu nessa nefuna ebyennyanja ebikulu kasi kyetubasaba gavumenti 2022 fisheries and agriculture bill yayita parliament nesindikibwa president n'asayininga bill eyo ekyamazima okuva olwo tukyalinda minisita atuwe regulation kweyo bill regulation paka kati tugenda mu kulonda tatuwanga regulations ku bill eyo tubasaba kati kiba kitegeeza buli avubira irregularity tewali teeka likola ki liruŋŋamya kuvuba kubanga terinabayisibwa.
Tweyanzege. At this particular moment, I would like to have the DHO, Rachi Moyita, because abavubi, when we're hearing about the HIV prevalence rate in Kalangala, ebadde waggulu over and over the years, nadalanga mu bantu baffe ababulijjo bibadde bikwatagana ku nsonga y'obuvubi. Naye okuwulira nti this particular ministry eya health ekutte ekintu kino n'ekikwata n'amaanyi mangi, tukyebaza, because it is very absurd that Kalangala kept on coming in every report. Ng'owulira nga Kalangala tukimanyi, ewulira Kalangala minga amanya sirimu. So kibi nnyo nti kyali bwe kiri, naye tusaba tukwebaza, twagala kuwulira eri your submission on this.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Evo.
I'm Suna Michael. I'm a senior medical officer. The story of HIV in Kalangala is very long. I won't dwell on it, but now we are doing much, much better.
Why? How
we are now at...
Why are we doing much better? How are we doing now? What have you done and what are you still doing?
Yes, so we have come a long way. Currently, our prevalence is at 13% from the 20s that we were at that time, many years ago. This has been a concerted effort, honestly. We have sensitized communities on HIV prevention. We have improved the access to HIV care and treatment. And these have been the core reasons why we have reduced our prevalence to what it is today. There is access to ARV drugs. We have community systems that are working day and night to ensure that our people get these drugs, and the different HIV prevention interventions, including circumcision, pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, and all the comprehensive packages as we offer them. We still have challenges in delivering medical logistics. Taking drugs to other facilities costs a lot. We cannot sometimes do it. There's a high risk of water transport for our health workers. Sometimes the winds are too much, or it is rainy, or the boats are bad, and we cannot get where we want to be. And this further impacts our service delivery on the islands. So the medical logistics also becomes a challenge. Sometimes when we get to facilities, there's no connectivity. We cannot access our medical records because of lack of networks. We cannot communicate. Sometimes people want to call in to ask for consultations, but they cannot, simply because there's no connectivity on the islands. So I sum it up by saying that we have come a long way, but we still can do more. And we would appreciate that the government considers that a special place and to give us a health facility, which is a district hospital, and to upgrade the other health facility. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. We are talking matters health because obviously you cannot fish when you're not healthy. You will not fish, you will not grow palm, you will not do anything when you're not healthy. So here we are, a call for improved healthcare here in the district.
Government of Uganda has engaged Uganda Revenue Authority to ensure that the people who are importing the monofilaments used in illegal fishing can no longer import them. However, the challenge we are still facing is that the people who transit goods through the country to Congo and Rwanda take the monofilaments to those countries and then return them back to this country, to Uganda, through the border points, the porous border points. And that's the reason as to why we are still having the monofilaments within the country. But even as that is happening, the Fisheries Protection Unit and the Fisheries Department have done some good job with all the challenges that they do have.
To address most of the concerns that were really raised against the fisheries. One, fisheries, we are in a program called agro-industrialization. And you know, the government, I don't know if the honorables are aware, the government has been divided into programs. We as fisheries were in a program called agro-industrialization.
Order from this side.
Agro-industrialization. And what is this? We are moving people from peasantry to commercial. And I want you to know that the other, I said by saying the other one is a natural resource. Natural resource is like you've heard about the forestry. Yeah? Management of a natural resource is different from your own farms. You understand? You're managing so many people and so many key stakeholders. But we are on agro-industrialization. And what we want is a fisherman to move from 1 boat to 2 boats to 10 boats. You understand? Because we are on agro-industrialization. What have we done as production, as fisheries? We are encouraging value addition. The fish that you get should have what? Value, so that you fetch a higher price. One. And we are also putting up fish landings. I think you know we have Nakativa, we have Chagalanyi, we have Kasekulo, we have Namisoke, we have Chitobo, we have Mwena. These are fish handling facilities to help you to improve the quality of fish. Then with the marketing of fish, Honorable Speaker, you say you have not eaten fish. Every person has to eat about 15 kgs of fish a year. And I know the audience here really has had more than 30 kilos in a year. So now that you're saying you never got fish, it's because of the marketing dynamic. It's not because the fish is scarce.
I thought you were going to tell me you're going to take me and you give me fish.
Anyway, I didn't want to say it on the mic. But it's not because that fish is not
public knowledge.
Yes, I just want to know. I just want you to know that it's not because that fish is scarce, but it's because of the marketing dynamics. In the country, 70% of all the fish we harvest, 70% of all the fish we harvest, we eat it locally. The other 30% regional and international market. Okay. So most of the fish we eat it.
Are there any efforts to at least, like someone mentioned, to at least bring some of these that are, going extinct or that are diminishing, to at least add them back into the lake? Or it's impossible? You might tell us that some fish probably doesn't grow like that. Yeah. It can't happen like that. But are there any initiatives? Is this something that can be done?
Yeah. What with the declining stocks, especially the Nile perch fishery, I began by telling you that this lake is managed by East Africa.
Yes.
Any introduction of any particular species has to be checked by the 3 countries. We have an organization called Lake Victoria Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization that is really looking at anything that all these 3 countries do on the lake. So introduction of a new species, even Nile perch was introduced, and my brother there was saying, as scientists, we are debating. The European man was saying the species, we had over 400 species of fish that most of us have not seen, even me, I'm seeing in the books. Now, when they introduced Nile perch, we lost over 200 species. But the European man was thinking about the marketing, because there were so many species, but they had no market value. When they brought the perch, and it has done havoc on those ones, but we have benefited as through the marketing. So introduction of a new species in the lake has to be checked by scientists, and it's not usually easy.
Thank you very much. We talk about so many diseases, but at this particular point, I want you to educate something that I've been passionate about when it comes to sickle cells. One, sickle cells, we can have an end. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to be brief.
Very brief, but please, before you leave, for me, educate on the fact that we can manage sickle cells and put an end to it. If partners across in this room go back and educate a parent, educate a brother or a sister, before they decide to settle for families, they can test for sickle cell, they can put an end to sickle cell. I'm
talking about sickle cell. Munsi yonna buli mwaka abaana abazaalibwa nga balina sickle cells babeera 300,000. Uganda buli mwaka tuzaaza abaana emitwalo 2 basing on the study eyafuluma mwaka gwe 2015. Kalangala nga Kalangala tulina ebizinga 64, tulina clinic erimu active patients abaana 121. Ekliniki eno yatandika nga ina abaana 2 omwaka gwa 2015 mu March. It is a challenge nti abaana bano abazaalibwa kitegeeza maama ne taata babeera n'akalandira ka sickle cell. Kitutawaanyizza nnyo okuva twatandika between 2022 up to now twatandika kukozesa eddagala lye bayita hydroxyurea. Hydroxyurea eddagala one of the most expensive drugs. Eddagala lyajjanjabanga kansa ow'omusaayi. Bwe lyakyusibwa ne lidda mu kujjanjaba sickle cell liyambako omwana okufuna ekiriisa maama kyeyandimubadde singa abadde mu lubuto. Ayina ebbaluwa eraga nti is a carrier to sickle cell. Teyandifumbiddwa omuntu ali carrier mu sickle cell. Omuntu ali carrier ayina kufumbirwa omuntu ali normal. A normal person abeera na results eziwandiikiddwako AA. And secondly, those results must be stamped by a facility stamp. Eri genuine. So si kubiforginga. So that tuyambeko okureducing abaana betuzaala nga balina sickle cell disease. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It is just something to learn as we are here. Please, before you go with your partner, test for sickle cell. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. For those that are watching from home, this is NTV People's Parliament, and we have been in Kalangala District. For those who are here in person, I appreciate your patience. You've really been patient. Thank you for being part of this conversation. We have talked about a number of issues ranging from infrastructure, also addressed some concerns when it comes to fishing. We're talking about illegal methods of fishing, the declining fish variations in the lake, and a number of issues have been addressed here. But also a number of answers have been given. But still, we shall continue to follow up on what we have discussed here in Kalangala to see if the leaders are taking up onto these issues to have a better Kalangala, a better district, and a better country for all of us. Thank you so much for being part of this August House. Thank you so much for being part of NTV People's Parliament. By the powers vested in me, I adjourn this House until next time.